Shut up and sit down.
So, Jonathan.
Yes, Jacob.
That's how I'm going to start every show from now on, is just so Jonathan.
Yeah, okay. Good enough for me.
Why not?
Well, if they don't know us by now, they never will.
Well, they'll figure it out.
They probably never will.
Through context, you'll figure out who we are.
There we go.
Because the number one thing we like to talk about is ourselves.
That's true.
So they'll figure it out. If they don't figure it out, we're not talking about ourselves enough.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
In which case we're cured and this experiment is over. Yeah, so I'm Jacob PATRIC.
Jonathan Gray's right.
And he's not wearing pants.
Oh, I am too wearing pants.
He's wearing pajama pants.
Well, they're not conventional pants, but
he's wearing unconventional pants. That's it. That's the new motto for this show is this is the Backroom Show and we wear unconventional pants.
I'm comfortable in my jammies.
Is that how you teach as well?
You want me to say that in I can't say that in public.
Why not? He might or might not wear pants when he teaches English online. You're going to get way more students now. You know that.
Let's just leave that up to everybody's imagination, which could be like a nightmare.
Oh, man. You know what I want to talk about today?
Yep. Tell me.
I want to talk about how we almost single-handedly destroyed everything good and magical about the Backroom Show. And then we saved it back from the brink of destruction.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
That was pretty nasty the last couple of days.
So for those of you at home that don't know, which is all of you, because we're the only two that know, 2 days ago, we recorded 3 shows, right?
Yeah.
And each one was worse than the last.
Worse than the last, yeah.
So they'll never see the light of day.
No. That's in the scrap bin.
Oh, man. It was craziness. Yeah. It was insane. So I think the camera is part of the culprit. Oh, by the way, a new layout with the camera. And if you're listening to the audio version, you should definitely go over to YouTube and look at this. It is an epic disaster. I love it.
What? It's my back room.
The back room is now a character in our show.
It's not like, yeah, I guess it's pretty bad.
It's a character. Now we have character because we aren't character enough, but the back room is definitely now a character. It's a participant.
There you go.
And before it was just a wall. Nobody knew it was even a room. I mean, it could have gone on forever. It was just a wall.
True.
So go back to episode 5. Did we decide that the first video one was episode 5?
Yeah, I think so.
No, it's episode 6.
No, episode 6, yeah.
We have 4 out as of the recording of this.
Right.
Okay, so go back to episode 6 and look at how we are just like perched on against a wall. One of the only golden moments from those ruined outtakes was when we tried to make shadow puppets on the wall behind us, trying to liven things up.
We'll put those in the outtake panel.
We'll have to we'll have to add that to or maybe just the end of this show. We'll add that because that was actually pretty. That was like the only good thing.
That was pretty funny
out of all of those recordings.
Yeah.
So I blame the camera. We were spending a lot of time doing this, just looking at the camera and looking at ourselves and the little screen and feeling very self-conscious. Yeah. And we just weren't ourselves. We weren't laughing. We weren't having fun. We also tried it without the microphones and headphones in the name of simplicity. And I think that killed it big time. Because as we've already established multiple times, we like hearing ourselves talk.
That's true.
And when we're doing this, I'm hearing myself talk. That's what I hear in my headphones is my own voice.
Yeah.
Which is like the best thing I can hear through my headphones is my own voice.
Well,
for me. And we don't put our cell phones on silent because
just
we
in
like
case we get a
The
message.
show.
The other aspect of it as well, the reason I didn't like what we recorded just on camera without the mics, without the headphones, is that I've always wanted to feel the concept of like a little radio show. And we're hoping even in the future that it grows to that a little bit. Because we want our writers or our listeners, I mean, to write in and maybe offer a few suggestions as to what we're going to talk about or what they'd like us to talk about. or if they have any questions about a poetry or writing, whatever the case might be, they can chime in,
Definitely.
and then we can berate them live on YouTube.
We could just roast them.
Yeah, it'll be a roasting.
Make them feel sorry for ever subscribing to us. By the
That'll be
way,
good.
as of right now,
Yeah,
we've said multiple times, and to agree with what you said, that
Yeah.
we said this is a podcast first, and we kind of tried to like move away from that, which isn't us. It wasn't what we originally designed or thought of. So obviously it didn't work. We tried to become more video first, and I don't know, maybe in the future things might be more video first, but that's just not us right now, and we should do what we feel. But what I was going to say is, as of right now, we have however many episodes out in the podcast.
Yeah.
Zero subscribers in the podcast.
Yeah.
Like nobody's even bothered to listen to a single episode of those 4. We are completely in the depths of obscurity in the podcast.
yeah,
And since our family, or the few people in our family that might want to listen to us, prefers YouTube, we have like 5 subscribers on YouTube. So what I think is we should set stretch goals. You know what a stretch goal is?
no, give it to me.
It's not about getting fat and having stretch marks.
Oh.
That's something different.
I'm closing in on that.
Oh no. Stretch goals is it's a concept that's in like when they do crowdfunding, like on Kickstarter or GoFundMe.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha.
I know Kickstarter does them. I don't know if the other websites do it as well, but GoFundMe Kickstarter definitely does it. So the idea is, we want to do something, we need so much money to do it. Please give us at least this much money. But if we raise more than that much money, we'll start setting like goals according to how much more money we get. So
Okay.
if we get
Yeah.
$500 or $1,000 over our goal, then everyone gets a t-shirt or something like that, right? I also think about patreon.com. Patreon is where people can kind of become a patron of whatever you're doing, and they can give you money, whether it's
Right.
a dollar a month or $20 a month or whatever. And if you give a certain amount, then you get more stuff,
Right.
right? You get more
Yeah,
perks
it's
as
it's
a
like
patron.
a telethon.
Kind of
Yeah,
like an
really.
ongoing thing. It's a way to support creators like podcasters or artists or whatever people do. So that's pretty cool. But the idea of a stretch goal is we meet a certain goal and then we do something in response. So I was thinking we should have stretch goals just for subscribers.
Okay.
So like if we get to a certain number of subscribers,
Yeah.
we'll do something,
Okay.
right? So like this is live brainstorm. So no idea is a bad idea except all of them. And so what would be a good stretch goal and a number? Like what would we do? For example, we had the idea of calling in.
Right.
We could set up a voicemail line. Doing that now would be pointless,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We could have questionnaires, we could have giveaways, we could have all kinds of stuff, but we need a certain audience in order to justify doing that.
Right.
Not to justify it, but to make it even, well, I guess to make it worth doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
No one wants to do a giveaway to this, same 5 people,
No, that's right.
right? So what would be something we could add?
So we need a kickstart, like if you can bring 5 friends to the site.
Well, we wouldn't know
Or whatever the case may
where
be.
they're coming in. Just like, let's say we get to, okay, for example, we get to 20 subscribers on YouTube.
Right.
What are we going to add to the show to celebrate 20 subscribers? I guess that's a better way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a great goal. We currently have 5.
Yeah.
20 is a great
20 is a great goal.
milestone.
Yeah.
We would celebrate. We're so small and inconsequential in the world that 20 people watching our YouTube channel would be amazing.
Would be huge.
Right? And we want to celebrate that and not be disappointed in it,
Right.
because 20 is infinitely more than 0.
Yep.
So what are we going to do? Like, what would we add to the show as a celebration?
I don't know. Dead silence. Give me an idea.
Well, I'm trying to think. What could improve the show? We obviously have ideas for where this could go in the future.
Well, I think, like, what we discussed the other day, I kind of like the idea that we're gonna have a little cookie jar or something with some with a list of things that we want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So we just draw out of the hat, and that's it. That's our random conversation.
Yes. We definitely want to talk about that on this show, this episode. That's kind of related to the whole almost killing the show on Sunday thing. Yeah.
So
would that be a goal then? We wait till 20 subscribers?
Yeah.
Or is that something we desperately need like right now?
Yeah, no, I think that's something we should start next episode.
Yeah, because
next episode
we have something great to talk about today. Yeah. But we just coming up with something off the top of our heads can be difficult.
Yeah.
And then when we tried to structure it, that's kind of getting back to that story of how we almost killed the show, is we were trying to structure it too much. So we'll definitely get back to that in a minute. Yeah. But as far as the stretch goals, we got to think about it. So let's think about it for the next episode.
Okay.
We'll think about what we can do to celebrate 20, and then to celebrate 50, and then to celebrate 100, etc.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll brainstorm. We'll brainstorm.
You know, like for example, we've talked about, and this wouldn't be every episode because, well, for one thing, we might do a couple episodes back to back, and we're not total winos. Yeah, but it would be interesting to have a bottle of wine occasionally. So we need to figure out what number of subscribers and or listeners would justify having a bottle of wine every time we sit down to record, as opposed to a coffee from Starbucks.
Yeah, we could start with 1, have a bottle of wine. 2, have a bottle of wine. 3.
For every subscriber we get, we're adding 1 bottle of wine to every episode.
I could work with that.
The Backroom Drunks show. Oh my goodness. Well, since I pretty much cap out at 2 glasses of wine, I guess you're going to be doing all the heavy lifting if we do that.
I've always got your back, buddy. Don't worry about it.
All right, great, great. It's like signing off for this episode of the Backroom Show. I'm Jacob Patrick, and Jonathan Gray's right is on the floor. In his pajamas.
In my pajamas. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's put a pin in it.
I didn't know we were going to reveal the pajama things that early in our partnership, but thanks anyway.
Oh, that's great. It's great.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's put a pin in that and think about it.
Yeah. Let's put it. Yeah. We'll put a pin in that. Think about that. Yeah. Just to anything to just encourage people to take a look at us. You know, whether they love us or hate us. It's the point of, just generating viewers.
Yeah.
And I know one thing about YouTube is undeniable, is that as you move forward, you're going to get comments. You always get comments.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
And so
the trolls.
Whatever it might be, love it or hate it, whatever it is. And I can tell you, as an artist, and no doubt you might feel this as well sometimes, but man, I can live off hate. I can tell you. Oh yeah. We can have
I could laugh at it.
Oh yeah, we can have a lot of fun with that. A lot of fun with that. So yeah. So we welcome any kind of comments, whatever the case might be. Yeah.
Definitely. Ooh, I have an idea. Okay. What if we put a question at the end of every episode that people have to answer? Oh. Or not have to answer, but can comment in and answer if they want.
If they like, sure.
That could be interesting.
Absolutely.
We'll have to figure out how many viewers we need to have before we even start that. Yeah. If we started it now, we wouldn't get an answer most weeks.
Yeah, that's true. But we have to make it something compelling, like write a small comment on the viability of toe jam.
There you go.
Like, what?
Can you guess what color his pajamas are?
That's true.
Whoever guesses correctly, we'll figure something out. Yeah, so that could be an idea. If we have enough people all listening, which right now we have nobody listening, and for good reason, we're a mess. Yeah, but I believe eventually we will either get good at this, or just by being hard-headed and refusing to quit, I'm knocking over your
crushing
figurines.
My raisins.
said no one ever on this show. Yeah, great. So that'll have to be a goal that we set. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll think about it. We'll talk about it next time. Can we turn on the air?
Yeah.
Both of our glasses are fogging up.
So the point is that, Jacob and I sat for an afternoon. We tried to plug along with a script, with trying to develop some kind of direction, but it stalls very fast. If we're just, when you and I are too scripted, we're not ourselves.
Yeah, that's what happened.
We were just like two paintings on the wall, not really figuring out which way we were going to go. And we finally decided, that's not us.
Yeah.
We have more fun sitting together just talking about junk.
That's it.
And so that's why we came up with this concept of we're just gonna put a bunch of subjects in a hat. We'll pull it out, and we'll just have fun with it.
Yeah, that's great. So probably the next episode, the format of the show will only change slightly, and that'll be we get to do our little intro and talk about whatever we want to talk about. If whatever we want to talk about ends up lasting a whole episode and we don't need the idea hat or whatever we find, that's great. Yeah. But if we do need the idea hat, then we randomly pull out a topic. And these aren't topics, these aren't like random words necessarily, right?
No.
They're topics that each of us have chosen.
Absolutely.
That we would like to talk about.
Absolutely.
But we don't want to over-prepare to talk about it.
No.
Because then we don't get that sort of natural just rolling with it feel, right?
That's the whole point.
So they are like, we could say they're pre-approved topics by one of us at least, right?
Yeah.
And so then whenever it comes out, it just comes out and we do it. So if we each think of, 10 topics and roll them around over the course of 20 episodes, or maybe longer, because there may be episodes where, like today, we're not going to need the topic hat because we got stuff to talk about and we're rolling with it. It feels natural. It feels good and we're doing good. But if we get 10 minutes in and we don't feel comfortable, we'll use the topic hat. And maybe the topic hat is like a crutch that kind of helps us to get through a weird point. And at some point we don't need it. I don't know.
Well, you and I have talked about this before, that your inspiration and my inspiration comes from a lot of different avenues in life.
Mm-hmm.
And that basically, Jacob and I, we would like to become great storytellers.
Yes.
And by dropping subjects in a hat and just pulling it by random, it's going to put our storytelling to the test. And,
Definitely.
We get to add our own flair in that as well. And that's what I'm really looking forward to, just being natural. Now, I get it. Some people are not going to like to see just two guys sitting in a back room chatting about anything. But I've watched a lot of YouTube.
Why are you here?
Yeah. I mean,
this is it. This is what we do.
Yeah. And I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. And I've seen the very beginning of when a person started their YouTube channel. And it sounds very much like ours.
Mm-hmm.
And then over time, it just develops.
Yeah.
And so, the start might be a little bit rocky, but, in the future, we might bring some good poignant exercises or thoughts to the show. But mainly, we just want to have fun, and we want people to laugh when they watch our YouTube channel.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Definitely.
Entertaining.
And kind of looking under the hood as two creators that do something other than just, talking as writers. A lot of this is also, it's a branding thing. We want to create just a regular show, a regular thing, several regular things, whatever they are, to reach out and connect with people other than through our writing, so that we have different ways to bring people sort of into our ecosystem so they can get to know us. And so if somebody reads one of my books, reads one of your books, and then they find out about this, it may give them a chance to connect with us between books. which is cool.
Absolutely.
Or they may see this first and then decide to go check out one of our books, which is cool. They may never check out one of our books, which is totally fine. We're fine with that. But it just gives us a place where we get to just be ourselves and kind of show the world who we are. And you talk about storytelling. I'd like to do a whole show about storytelling and how we feel about it and what we're doing with it and stuff like that. And who knows? Maybe we talk about that next week and we still don't need the idea hat.
That's right. Absolutely.
But that's fine. It's an idea that's out there that we'll definitely be doing at some point. When we run out of stuff, we'll just have the idea hat. So awesome. So yeah, this is a branding thing. But like you said, we just want to have fun.
Yep.
It's not a scripted branding thing. Because we're just not scripted people. That's just not the kind of people we are. When I do, for example, personally, when I do public speaking, the less notes I have, the better. Like, it needs to be a natural thing for me. If it's not a natural thing, and if I have to follow a very strict list and everything's like been pre-planned, it's always a mess for me internally. Maybe it comes out okay because I practiced it enough, but for me internally, it's just a mess.
Well, and that's why what we videotaped the other day is never going to be aired, because we tried to script it and it just wrecked. It was an absolute train wreck.
It was awful.
And so we were like a couple of pigeons in the headlight of a railway train.
Oh, it was awful.
So that wasn't going to help at all.
I was trying to diagnose what happened a couple of days ago on Sunday. So we did one recording where we were inmates against the wall getting interviewed before execution. Is what we looked like it too.
We looked like it, yeah.
And so, inside baseball, we used a camcorder for our first ever video episode.
Yeah.
If you're listening on the podcast, which nobody is right now, but at some point in the future, you're coming back listening to this from the beginning because you just love us so much, in which case, thank you. That episode, the first ever video episode, was with a camcorder. We couldn't see ourselves.
No.
We were looking at a lens.
Yeah.
Right? For some reason, I think that made us less self-conscious.
It's true.
Also, we did this.
Yeah.
And by this, I mean we had microphones in our faces with headphones on. Even though we were looking at a camera, we still kept this so we could hear ourselves talk. So it kind of, we kept enough from the old format when we went over to the new that I think it still worked.
Yeah.
But then Sunday, the first thing we did was ditch the microphones and headsets. We said, let's focus on video. The second thing we did is, instead of using a camcorder, we decided to use your iPhone. It's a better camera. Even though it's a smaller camera, it's a better camera. We have a little lens attached to it that gives it a wider scope, so we can both fit in the frame.
And you can see more junk.
Yeah, just more horrible ugliness. Oh, I'm talking about our faces, but also the room. Horrible ugliness. A dangling. My favorite is this: the broken, the broken dangling lamp right next to my head. It's great. So anyway, we were trying to do something different.
Yeah.
But it was so different, and we're looking at ourselves in the screen. We were so self-conscious. That first episode was really rocky.
It was bad.
It was really bad. And we tried to crack jokes with the first one. You made fun of my haircut. We tried to make shadow puppets.
That may be a subject all in its own.
Maybe. I have a feeling he's going to put it in the hat. We tried to do something good, and there were good points to it, but it just felt a little stilted.
Yeah.
I think we were too self-conscious because we were looking at the screen and watching ourselves the whole time, and we couldn't hear ourselves. We couldn't use this instant feedback of hearing ourselves on our ears to kind of relax us.
Yeah.
I find my own voice very relaxing. I guess that's what I'm saying. And so, yeah, it was rocky, but we were like, okay. And I said, do you think we can redo the beginning of that? Let's just do another take and just redo the beginning because it was a little rocky. And I think we loosened up halfway through. So let's redo the beginning and introduce ourselves and whatever we said. I don't remember. So we did the second take. And the second take was worse than the first.
Except for the shadow puppets.
Was the shadow
Those were
puppets in the
great.
first take or in the
No,
second?
I think they were in the second tape.
Okay, whenever the shadow puppets happened, it was great. Other than that, it didn't feel right. So we turned it off and we just looked at each other and we said, "What are we doing?"
Yeah, that's not going to work.
And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. Maybe we can somehow edit. I can edit together the 2 takes and find something good in it."
It would have been 2 minutes long. All you would have seen was shadow puppets.
Shadow puppets. That's it. Us laughing at our own shadow puppets. It wasn't any good. And so we said, okay, we're going to have to do something. What if we make some notes and what we want to say first, second, third, fourth, fifth? Oh, okay, that's that. Let's do that. Hey, let's go to the coffee shop. Let's brainstorm. So we go, we talk for like an hour. We come up with all these ideas how we're going to improve the show, improve the channel, blah, 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 blah. And what we really just did was put a bunch of order and structure into it. That was needless.
Yeah.
I think order and structure was not what was missing from the beginning because it's not what we've done all along. No. And what we've done all along has been fine. I mean, I like it.
Yep.
Somebody will like it.
Somebody will like it.
We certainly didn't feel like guilty at the end of it. Like,
no, that's for
like
sure.
We just ran over somebody's dog or something. It was awful.
Yeah.
And so, so we were trying to correct, but we applied medicine for like the wrong symptoms, so to speak. So we get here and we do take number 3, trying to follow a list. And we were like, what are we doing? So then we did some soul searching, right?
Yeah.
How did that third one feel to you?
Well, like I said, it was like we were two puppets pasted up against the wall.
Yeah.
And it wasn't generic enough. It was like a couple of formal executives having a chat. There was no flow to it. It wasn't easy going.
You know what it felt like to me? You know that little kid when he tells a story and he says, and then, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
We had a list of things that we'd already decided we were going to talk about, and we were running from checklist item to checklist item. It was awful.
Yeah.
Right?
Not going to work.
No. And so we did some soul searching after that. And we said, look, we're obviously not doing something right. What do we need to do different? And that's when we said, well, maybe we should just pull a topic, out of a hat. We're like, well, maybe sometimes we literally just pull it out of a hat. If we don't know what to talk about, whoop, here we go. This is what we're going to talk about. And don't prepare anything. Let's just roll with it, right? And that way we feel like ourselves. We can just joke and great, no pressure, right? There's nothing important we're trying to communicate with this episode.
No.
So we can just be ourselves with this episode.
Exactly.
And what's crazy is we end up bringing amazing value to ourselves and maybe to someone listening because we're talking through things without any pressure. But when we're trying to bring value, then there isn't any value because it's stilted.
Yeah, and we don't really have anything valuable to say.
We don't.
That's the whole point.
That's the thing.
We're
not saying anything with this.
Yeah.
I just realized that me doing this is shaking the camera, so I'm not going to do that anymore. We're not bringing any... We don't have anything important to say with this episode. But by accident, we're going to stumble into an important life lesson, I think, which is be yourself.
Yeah.
Which is don't allow that pressure to fit into a certain box. Change what you're doing or what you're trying to do. Sometimes you just need to relax and roll with it.
Well, it's like a fart's never the same.
That's right.
Every time you fart, something different.
That's
right.
You can't cook it up to be special.
It is what it is.
The special ones happen when you least expect them, and you remember them for years.
They always happen when somebody's in the room with you.
And everyone around you remembers them for years, too. Yeah, exactly. So that's an important lesson we learned.
Yeah.
And today, it went great.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Who cares?
Absolutely.
Right? We're not cutting a thing out. My phone rings. We're not cutting it out. It's great.
That's just who we are. We're sitting in the back room.
And
air conditioner's running.
The video format.
And
I think is great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
This is great.
This is what we've been looking for.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, this is the back room.
It is.
Like, why are we talking about the back room? And I remember I said that in the episode I just got through editing and posting about the back room a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
I remember saying this show is also the story of the back room.
It is.
Because you have plans for this, right?
Yeah.
How go those plans, by the way? Are you still...
They've gone nowhere.
So what's up with that?
Well, I did a little bit of recording probably about 2 weeks ago.
And how'd that
feel? And
the
echo was just... The feedback was too much in here.
Really?
Yeah. So, well, it sounded to me like that anyway.
Well, because have you heard the last... Did you listen to any of our...
Yeah.
Have you listened to our show?
What are you talking about?
I'm just asking. I don't assume. I mean, I'm narcissistic enough
I think
to
I was
listen
the only
to all
one
of them.
that pushed like on it.
We have a like, ladies and gentlemen, from one of the co-hosts.
For one of the... Yeah.
Okay, so...
I listened to it the other day, and the quality for what we're doing here
is good.
Is fine, but when I was reading my poetry, because I'm trying to put it into the audiobook format,
right,
on Amazon,
right,
but I'm trying to think of, and as a matter of fact, speaking about that, I'm looking for some noise dampening material, and I found this little portable booth.
Oh yeah,
it sits right on my desk, and it surrounds my mic.
I've seen those before.
And so that's what I'm going to grab.
You think you're going to go that way?
Yeah, they're about $20.
You don't think you don't want to just put some panels on the walls? Like the DIY panels?
Well, I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just thought that it's very inconvenient just to have that little thing set up on my desk. I can fold it up, put it away.
Well, that's true.
And then I have less complaints from my wife.
Although
that I'm sticking towels up on the wall.
Well, they would look good. They wouldn't just be towels stapled to the wall.
Have you ever seen my DIY?
Okay, I'm going to have to make... Well, okay, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
But I have done like massive amounts of research, which means many, many hours of YouTube has been consumed by me. Videos regarding like recording audiobooks and sound quality and stuff like that. There's a guy named Booth Junkie, very, very good. He's a professional voiceover guy, and he talks about all the different ways you can basically sound treat the area around you, different locations. He's even done like experiments. Can you sound treat a bathroom, for example? Like the worst place to record audio, what would it take to turn a bathroom into a sound booth, right? Super convenient, by the way, because then you can just pee while reading. Yeah. It could be a sound effect.
It's great.
It'd be awesome.
Running water in the back.
That's right. You know, that's right.
You'll think you're like next to a waterfall.
Oh, it'd be great. It'd be great. Yeah. And anyway, from what I've seen of most of those, they don't work even a tenth as well as they claim. So be careful about that. Unless you've already ordered it, in which case they're awesome.
I haven't ordered it yet.
Okay, so just think about that. I'd like to do an experiment at the end of this episode. Would you like to read a poem?
Sure.
Okay. So at the end of this episode, we're going to read a poem. We'll just include it in the episode. Sure. We'll turn this off.
Yep.
Because this will screw everything up. Oh, we apologize for the podcast people who now have to listen to the air running, but our glasses were fogging up. Can't have that.
No kidding. It's hot in here, man.
It's steamy. It's humid.
It was humid, yeah.
It's sultry.
Yeah, it's sultry.
He opened the door when I came in, and he said, "Is it sultry outside?" And I said, "What does sultry mean?" I thought it meant sexy.
That makes me cry.
What?
Because our Flames lost in the first round of the playoffs.
Oh, we're talking about hockey now.
I should put this cup away till next season. Anyway.
Well, what kind of fan are you? They lost a game, therefore I will not partake of any glasses that includes your logo. Oh boy.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Read a poem at the end.
All right.
And which we're probably getting pretty close to the end anyway, but read a poem, and then I'll see how it sounds with the audio engineering.
The audio engine. Okay.
Because I don't notice any echo like in our voices when we're doing this. You might have some echo now because you're this far back and you're yelling at the...
I'm too close or I'm too far away.
So I get it.
Oh, okay.
I get it where my lips are almost kissing.
Yeah, but then I'm going to get chapped lips.
Wow. That would be a danger, I suppose. Oh, that's great. That'll be the blurb at the end of the...
I'm not supposed to be that close to it.
Would be the blurb for the audio book. This book was so great it gave me chapped lips.
Yeah, I get any closer, I'll think it's my girlfriend.
This is fuzzy.
Have you seen my girlfriend?
Your girlfriend needs to shave or brush her teeth. I don't know which. I don't know where the hairs are coming from. But that's
I don't
gross.
have a girlfriend.
He doesn't have a girlfriend.
No.
Just pajamas.
No.
All right. Awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do is in this show, in this travesty, because we're running way over.
Yeah.
In fact, I might clip some stuff out, like what I'm saying right now.
There you go.
But I'm lazy, so I might not, which will make the show even better. So let's go ahead and sign off, and then you can find a poem, and that will be added on to the end of this show. And then we'll just say the shadow puppets thing to add to the end of a random show after you've forgotten about them, so they'll be even more bizarre. Actually, never mind, you deleted that video footage.
Did you?
No, I thought you did, because you asked me if I wanted to save any of it.
I think I did too. Yeah, I think I did too. You're right.
We apologize.
Never mind for the shadow puppets.
At some point in the future, we'll have a reenactment of the photo puppet scene to the best of our memory. That would be great.
That'll be good.
Okay, great. Okay. So this is Jacob Patrick signing off.
And this is Jonathan Graves Wright. See you later.
And we're sorry.
So let's read The Black Rose. It is the title poem of my book that is selling on Amazon called The Black Rose. So this is called The Black Rose. And it reads like this. In the depths of darkness I was created, a space in time, forlorn and barren. Soil. The sands of time have been good to me, yet my face is heavily veiled. Roots. The stories are old, from ancient times, a vast and troubled path. Memories of vast expanse from where life and time began, alas. Sprout. Misery was grafted on me by those I never knew. They left me here, heart in hand, to struggle on my own. Stem. They presented me with a crooked path. The choice was not my own. In this dungeon of life I've grown, in darkness and alone. Thorns. Love was won once upon a time and lost in bitter seas. Love was like the browning and falling of the leaves. Petals. Now in this life that has grown cold, where sun was lost on a weary soul, grows the black rose.